Saints were 12-3. And then lost to the wild card team in Minnesota in the playoffs. Hayward nudges forward for the first down of the 35. Tackle made by Montine to 3. The Eagles won it on Burton along with John Madden. Here in San Francisco, we're just underway. New Orleans took the opening kickoff, and they have gotten their first down, and Joe Montana will not play today unless absolutely necessary. The interesting thing is, Joe is not on the inactive list, he's just not suited up. So if something happened to Steve Young, Montana would head into the locker room and suit up. He could play. Walsh to throw. Haley setting the pass behind penalty incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, one thing, you see Michael Carter like that, it's not always sack in the 5 with 285. I mean, he fills out a uniform. He fills out that 9 and that 5.
Brett Barrowman in motion on 2nd and 10. Talks right, Bill Kennedy. And he's jammed up. Romer up on top with a tackle late. First one on the way. There's 5 interceptions this year.
Been one of the best pickups they've had.
3rd and 10, 4 wide receiver set, 3 at the top of your screen. Haley finding Walsh. Walsh, is the catch good? No, out of bounds. Eric Martin could only get one touchdown legally.
Here we get to move it. Here's Eric Martin on the outside. He does a good job on tight coverage. He just spins this guy to the left, to the right, and just spins him right to the ground. And, of course, Steve Walsh had pressure from Haley, so he couldn't get that ball to Eric Martin. Eric Martin made about 3 great moves there.
Tommy Barnhart will punt. He's in a battle with Sean Landeta, the Giants, for leadership in the NFL. And he's only 2/10 of the yard in average behind Landeta. And John Taylor for the low snap. Taylor at the 30. And only out to the 33. Now, Steve Young, starting at quarterback, 27 interceptions.
They planned to start Joe Montana today, and he said even with Steve Young starting, they're going to go with the same game plan. You can see there that Jerry Rice never had control of the ball. You have to come down with both feet on the ground. That is how you determine control.
I believe Gene Barth has informed us they're looking at this in replay.
So you see, it's not whether it has control up there. You have to wait till both feet come down. The feet aren't down yet. See, now both feet are down. Now the ball's out. So he didn't have control. They were right. That was an incomplete pass. That was one of the things the Saints said that they have to do. They said, it's not that Taylor and Rice, catch passes for a long way, but they catch little passes and make big runs out of it. So we have to tackle with that.
Cutter out of the backfield, Young back. And this is what he can do as well as most of the Young back. 5-step drop. And a nice pass. Boy, in between 2 defenders at the 48-yard line. Jerry Steve Young on 2nd down and 5. Goes deep right side. Jerry Rice adjusts to the ball is incomplete. And we welcome those of you from the Chicago-Tampa Bay game, where Chicago won at 27-14.
Series in a no-huddle offense. Very offense.
Young back. On the line, Dexter Carter, who are joining us. Montana not sitting up today, but he is not on the inactive list. Great pass. And Steve Young has moved the 49ers down to the 32-yard line.
Steve Young has really calmed down. He's doing this also without a huddle. The 49ers, again, are not huddled. You can see here just a simple hook pattern. Just run up and throw a hook. Get up on the line of scrimmage and call another play.
John Taylor with that catch for 11 yards. Young 4 of 6 for 31. Here's the running play.
Burton, how did Frank Reich do subbing for the injured Jim Kelly at Buffalo today? He threw 2 touchdown passes, including this one to Andre Reed. The Bills won at 24-14. They claim the AFC East, and the assault on the goalpost begins. Go back to Vernon Johnson.
And it strikes me it was warmer in Buffalo than here in San Francisco. Here's Young. Tom Rathman. And he's to the 24. That's a gain of 3.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Steve Young because we talked to him yesterday, and he didn't know he was starting this game. Joe Montana was in the locker room. He had his football clothes on when they decided that he wouldn't play. Maybe that's good.
And that's Dexter Carter, who is playing the place of the injured Roger Craig. And he's got another 1st and 10. Young back, here goes throwing. Young going deep. Over Massey, incomplete.
That's the reason George Receiver decided to say, hey, we're not taking a chance here.
Here is what they do so well, John.
And then with the running, adds another 12 or 13 yards to it.
All of that results in a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. This is the opening drive of the ballgame for the 49ers. Young, directing traffic, fires incomplete. And a diving John Taylor helps save a young lady.
And then they've done this whole drive again without a huddle. The 49ers have yet to get in a huddle. This is what Steve Young does different, of course, than Joe Montana. The elbow injuries to the gout and everything. And he said, I feel good now. You're going to start feeling good. This is a good time to start feeling good.
Well, you see that Rathman has more than half of the touchdowns on the ground. Hooper's kick is good. So 10 on the drive. As the 49ers go 67 yards in 14 plays, and Mike Hooper will kick off. Atkins, Cunningham, again, the deep man. This will be Bill Kennedy from the 3. And he is out to the Tennessee game.
I saw that left finger of his, and I wonder how he could take a snap with that hand.
Here's Walsh back to throw, and he's got his tight end wide open. That's John Tice.
If an offensive guy, if he grabs him, will slide right off.
19-yard gain on the last play for Steve Walsh. Walsh this time.
You say it's a totally different offense from what he was used to.
Second down and 10. 7-0, 49ers lead. They went to quarter number 1.
I'll come back.
Jeffrey wish it was that easy, huh?
So he came back, going for a 3-peat.
Walsh, crossing pattern, next caught, 1st down at the 37-yard line. Floyd Turner. On the 37-yard line, 7-0, 49ers lead. That's Ruben Mays. He leads others who've gone down. Last week or so. Here's Joe Kennedy and Dave Waiter. Puts a pop on him, but
I don't think they have the shot at it now.
Saints trying to tie it up. They've got a 2nd down and 3 at the 49ers 10. And again, it looks like an article, but we were told there are none. And here's Hayward. He's got a little bit of room and a lot of weight. And he gains just a
Moran thinks that he weighs a little too much. They say that he got up to 270 pounds, but he can do things. I mean, here's a guy that bounced into the outside now, ran that whole through. Had a little trouble straightening it up there and staying in bounds, but I think Craig Hayward is one of those guys that you either have to play him a lot, give him the ball a lot, or get rid of him.
not the most disciplined guy.
I don't think he's a tweener. I don't think he's a guy that can carry 7-8 yards at times a game.
Kennedy tries to spin on the one-time whistle for the snap. And time has been called by San Francisco.
Well, they had
3 tight set. Walsh, short drop. Looks left all the way, fires left, caught, touchdown. A flag that should be called against the 49ers. Greg Scales in the first dance has caught his first touchdown pass of the season.
Well, Jim Morris says that he's the third tight end Greg Scales is, but probably the best receiver of the three.
Interference, 53 defense. Penalty refused, touchdown.
As you said, that was a heck of a catch by Greg Scales. The penalty is against number 53, Bill Romanowski. And you're going to see it right there at the end. You see him right here. Romanowski is the guy covering him. You see him there, and now he...
Dave Weimer. David Weimer came firing through, timed it perfectly, and made it out.
That was a pretty good call. That was a good call by the 49ers, and knowing exactly the time. You're going to see Weimer right here. Now what he wants to do is he wants to hit this hole right in here about the time that ball snaps. Now watch how he does it. He's watching, he blocks, he starts that thing, and just as that ball was snapped, Dave Weimer was right in the hole.
Still the all-time leading pass interceptor for the New Orleans Saints. Dave Weimer, second and goal from the 12, 7-7 ball game. 11:05 to go first half. Hit by Charles Haley and rejected. That looked like a block shot in basketball.
And I think Stan Brock really had him blocked pretty well. Watch number 67. He's blocking here against Haley. He has him there. Haley just goes up and it hit him right in the helmet. Watch it. I mean, Haley really gets up in the air. You talk about a guy who is an athlete. You know, most defensive linemen, or he's listed as a linebacker, but he's really a defensive end, but they can't jump that high.
The NFC and stops the trails loose in the course of Buffalo. Third and goal from the 12. Left down again. In the corner of the grabs incomplete. Bill Alfred says I got it, but the official ruling was he was juggling the ball over Kevin Woods in the end zone.
I don't know that wasn't offensive interference. Watch Alvin. He's going to push there when that ball's in the air. Looks like he gives a push there before the ball gets there. Hey, that's a pretty good throw, though. I mean, he hit him right there in the hand. And by the time he gets control of it, of course, he's out of bounds.
They are checking the replay to see if indeed he was.
The replay official is reviewing the play.
I don't know that there's anything to review there other than the fact that was he pushed out. If they said that he was pushed out,
Incomplete.
it would be a touchdown. But they said no, that he went out. He didn't have control of it or anything.
So that brings on Morton Anderson from 30 yards away. Anderson rebounding after missing a field goal last year. Superb season. He's currently the third all-time percentage leader in the NFL. And he's now 18 of 22 for 1990. So Jim Morris' team gets 3 out of the fumble recovery, and they take the lead at 10-7. If the Saints win here, and they win at home against the Rams a week from Monday night, and if Dallas loses, then New Orleans finds that spot, and Phoenix is still mathematically alive. That's kicked out of bounds, so the effort of Benny Thompson will go unrewarded this time. The Saints, by the way, lead the NFL in kickoff coverage, largely led by that man. They're giving up an average return of only 14.6 yards.
Jim Mora, who doesn't give a lot of accolades out, especially in this year, calls him a wild man. He says Benny Thompson is the best special teams guy he's ever had. He said the guy just runs down there on those kicks. He said just like a wild man. And you kind of like that. I remember when I used to coach, I used to have this thing. I used to say that special teams breeds fanaticism. Well, they like work.
That'd be the time of a good book. Yeah, you may add to the list.
But then I had to change it because I had too much talent. Then I said, I had to change it to control fanaticism. Because if you get wild guys just running all over the place and knocking them, and they hit them in the front, the back, before the whistle blows, after the whistle blows, when they're out of bounds, up in the stands, in the tunnel, and they said, Coach, you said to be a fanatic. I said, no, not all the time. Then I changed it, and I said, special teams breeds controlled fanaticism. That's what Benny Thompson is.
It has a calmer feel to it.
Yeah. All our people.
Steve Young, who's been calm throughout thus far. 6 different receivers. Now the switch is Dexter Carter. The 74-yard run last week against the Rams. The touchdown gets 8 this time.
You see Carter in the end of that play. He was putting that away. He wasn't going to fumble again. There on the Saints sideline, that's the offensive group. You know, offensive players don't even watch when the other team offense is there or defense is there. See, they're talking about blocking, how they're going to block a play.
Now, see, they're looking at the pictures, too. There's Hobie Brenner, Stan Brock.
And they're talking, see, Hobie Brenner's a tight end, and Stan Brock is a right tackle. So that's what they want to get on the same page. The linemen always want to be on the same page, but the tight end and tackle work together in blocking combination.
49ers use their second timeout. Play clock was down. And so Steve Young will head over to the sideline to talk with George Seifert. 49ers with one timeout remaining. They trail by 3.
Every Saturday, he puts on those old blue jeans and goes out with that old dog, and he's gone all day. He says he's going to bring back dinner, but all he ever brings back is that old dog.
Here's to old dogs. Saturday mornings and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
Geo Star. Great way to get away. Hello, road. The turn. The hill. This is it. Now this could be contagious.
Now's the time to get to know the Geo Storm at your Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Premium choice. Freedom.
9:51 to go, first half. 3rd and 2. 49ers perfect on third down conversions so far. This time. And Steve Young is sacked and a flag is also dropped on the far side. Ronaldo Turnbull, who has 6 sacks, the rookie, may have picked up his 7th if the play stands. Yep, it will.
What the Saints wanted to do was get to the inside. You see, Turnbull starts outside, then he's going to come right up in that gap right there. You see, that's where they thought they could put the pressure on Montana. Now, they didn't expect Steve Young to be there, but they figured they wanted to get right up the middle, get pressure on him. That's where Turnbull came on that one.
Now, Barry Hilton, you can see his average not that gaudy, 37.5, but Seifert said yesterday he's caught it better since the Giant game here on Monday night. And then Buck goes back to make the catch. There was no fair catch signal called. And nothing on the return. 37-yard punt. Greg Cox makes the tackle. 10-7 New Orleans.
These people are about to become winners during Chevrolet Geo Winter Time. Sure, what is the best-selling line of cars and which trucks are more people switching to? Starts with C.
Chevy.
Brilliant! You can win with cashback or low financing. Yes, with the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America.
I know this.
Getting to know
Geo.
Yes, Geo, you can win with a first-time buyer bonus.
I knew that.
You too can be a winner during winter time at your Chevy Geo dealer.
The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Venus de Milo lacks arms. Chickens have lips. Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. Cold filtered for smooth draft taste. And dry brewed for no aftertaste. So when it comes to refreshment, nothing's missing. drive than brushing alone.
On the NFL today, it's the unbelievable, inconceivable, one-of-a-kind, whoa boy, oh my, yes sir, how the heck did they plays of the year next Sunday.
9:18 to go first half. The Fuji Blimp is being piloted today by Senior Captain John McHugh and Captain Gary Fabian. The Fuji Blimp providing our gorgeous views of the Bay Area from on top. Sellout crowd at Candlestick, and honest, it looks like most of the seats are filled. One might have thought some of the season ticket holders would stay home in Cape Horn today.
No, these people are tough here. It's been colder all week. It's starting to warm up.
You sound like a Bay Area resident.
Oh, no, I am. I know the Bay Area. We're hardy people. Big old hardy people up here.
Listen, I came out of minus 30 degrees in Steamboat Springs the other day. Here's the flea flicker. Lost back. Double coverage. Wilmer. 6 intercepts in the air. And he will be rolled down to 31. And it must be gratifying for Dave Wilmer, but unprotected by Jim Moore and the staff a year ago, to get his 6th interception against his former team.
Dave Waymer is a very smart player. You are not going to fool Waymer. They go on the flea flicker. You see 43 right there? He didn't fight for the run. He just waited. He's playing deep center field. He's going to stay as deep as the deepest. And that's exactly what he did. Now he's talking over there to Ronnie Lott, who's pointing to him and saying, see where you did. That's the smartest place you could be.
And it was when Waymer became available, by the way, that Ronnie Lott went into the coaching staff and said, look, if we can get this guy, get him out here.
I think if Jim Moore had one decision that he could take back, it would be that one. I don't think he wanted to lose David Waymer.
Dexter Carter up the middle. And out to the 40-yard line, 9-yard pickup. Giants, Rodney Hampton, a 2-yard run. Kansas City still leading San Diego by 7. And Randall Cunningham, by the way, ran for 52 yards in that game. He needs 88 to tie the quarterback single-season rushing record. Held by Bobby Douglas. Now Keith Henderson is coming in for George Siebert's punch.
I think Dexter Carter hurt something on that play, Burton. It was either his left shoulder or left hand because he kind of took himself out. See down there, I think it's his left hand. It's the whole left side. You can see they're checking the neck and head and how it moves down there because he grabbed early. He grabbed his left shoulder, then he grabbed his left hand, then he came off the field.
2nd and 1 after the measurement. Keith Henderson just activated this week and his first carry. Remember that. That's his first carry of the season. He's swilling and cooked. And Warren Johnson will celebrate. Johnson going to the Pro Bowl this year.
Well, I think that whole left side of the line, watch McIntyre there. He drives up, and they just throw him right back into Henderson. That was McIntyre. The left guard, when you get there, you got to get some movement. And when you tie into your guy, and your guy gives you movement backwards, that's going to happen. Vaughn Johnson just stopped Guy McIntyre. The interesting thing is, they're both going to the Pro Bowl. They can talk about that one.
3rd and 2. No gain for Henderson. Now Henderson out of the backfield in motion. Henderson will carry. And another 3rd down conversion. Roy Cook makes the tackle. We are at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. New Orleans State, after a fumble recovery, takes a field goal. Morton Anderson got it from 30 yards out. That's the difference in the game. 2 impressive drives, won by either team. It's 10-7. Vern Lundquist along with John Madden. And again, just to reset the motivating factor for the Saints, if they win here and win next Monday night against the Rams, and if Dallas loses, all the ifs would add up to a Jim Morris team in the playoffs. 1st and 10. They try to reverse. And Ricky Jackson stayed at home, got some help and Pat throwing and said, thanks a lot.
There's one strong part on this Saints team. It's those linebackers. I think when you try and run reverses and those kind of things, you're trying to fool the linebackers. And I don't think you can fool the Jacksons and the Swillings and those guys.
Are they as good as a group as as any team in the league?
I would think so. I would think that when Carl Banks is healthy and Lawrence Taylor is at the top of his game, that those are probably the best group of linebackers. But I would think that these four here in the Saints would be the next step.
Second down. Jones. There are two flags down, one on the far side of the field and one in the offensive backfield.
That's probably Bubba Garrett blocking on Swilling. Bubba's done a pretty good job on Swilling, but you can tell Bubba, he's saying he didn't do it.
It's number 77. He was too far up on his finish, and he was holding.
Oh, that's...
They got the double dipper on him. You see, here it is right here. That's the holding part. But the other penalty they got on him was that he lined up in the backfield. You see, he got the hand up there, the face mask, the right hand. He did everything there to Swilling. But before that, the way he lined up in the backfield.
Steve Young said of Bubba Parrish yesterday, and Bubba has added a couple of pounds. It's been a tough month for Bubba between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Bubba's had a good holiday season. But you see what they do here is they're saying that Bubba here is lined up back off the ball. So he's back too far. He's in the backfield, which he is. But when you weigh 350 pounds, some of you is going to be on the line of scrimmage, and other of you is going to be in the backfield. You can't penalize a man for that.
The other of you got caught. Young man. He's out of bounds at the 47. Gain of 16.
One of the things Swilling said that he wanted to do against Bubba, and watch it right here, is he said he wanted to spin against him. In other words, start up the field. See how he starts up there? Now stop. Now spin, and then see how he spun, and then he came inside? Just do that. Thought that was the type of move that he was trying to do. But Steve Young got rid of the ball too quickly.
And Brett Jones picked up 16. A pinch nerve for Dexter Carter is the report from the bench. Not known if he'll be available to return to the ballgame. 36, and again, Roger Craig is not suited up today. Ronnie Lott is not suited up, and Joe Montana is not suited up, so Montana is not on the active list. John Taylor can't make the catch. Pass sailed a little bit on Steve Young.
You know, Bubba does a pretty good job of blocking, though. Yeah, I mean, you get him when he makes a penalty, you get him when someone beats him. But when you watch him, he is a very good pass protector. And, of course, that was Ronaldo Turnbull again who was putting the pressure. That wasn't Bubba's guy. But I think sometimes you get carried away with that, and you forget that this guy is a good football player.
Yeah, he's a very gregarious guy, and I think he said, I don't mind if you show me when I get beat, as long as you even it up. Flag is down, fair catch made at the 14-yard line by Vince Buck.
But it's one of those things. I mean, he's drawing Pat Swilling today, who's a Pro Bowl player, and Pat Swilling hasn't made a play yet. So Bubba is throwing a shutout in the passing game.
38-yard punt. If the play stands, there is a flag down. And it would appear it's going to be against the 49ers. Gene Atkins saying we'll take the penalty.
Illegal substitution, number 23 offense. He has to be at least to the numbers to make an illegal substitution. 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
That's Spencer Tillman.
Yeah, what happens is Spencer Tillman, you see, didn't come all the way into the huddle. You can see him, he's still on the numbers right now. Now he's coming in beyond the numbers. The player doesn't have to come all the way into the huddle, but he has to at least pass the numbers on the field.
And the purpose of that, of course, is to keep teams hiding somebody over near the sideline.
Yeah, so they're just going to come off the sideline and start playing on you.
So Barry Hilton will punt it again. Leslie Wall. Trails the New Orleans Saints in 7.
USC takes on Michigan State, the John Hancock Bowl, New Year's Eve day.
have to do what a man has to do.
2, 3, ball.
Dry Bud Dry. Cold filtered for smooth draft taste. Dry brewed for no aftertaste. Refreshing proof that men still know what they're doing.
It's Chevrolet Geo wintertime where everyone can win with the trucks more people are switching to. Sir, how many doors does this 4-door Chevy S10 Blazer have? 4. Close enough. You can win with cashback or low financing. And what's your favorite pickup?
Chevy S10.
It's America's favorite too. And you can win with cashback on Chevy pickups, Astros, Suburbans.
Wrap it up.
I'll take it. You got it. Better get trucking to your Chevy Geo dealer during winter time.
Randall is surging, stretching, is stacking, and the Eagles are playoff bound. By the time they get to Phoenix, they could be soaring next Saturday.
Will a man choose what he wants?
Whole town sent it to you.
Or will he choose what's right?
I sent it to you.
Even if it will change his life forever. For Lee Horsley, his only choice now is to be the law.
Have it your way.
Guns of Paradise, premiering Friday, January 4th.
Christmas Day, join CBS Sports at 3 o'clock Eastern and 2 o'clock Pacific for an Olympic Winterfest countdown to Albertville. Co-hosted by Jim McCarver and Paula Zahn, it will feature the U.S. Open Professional Figure Skating Championship, including gold medalist Scott Hamilton and Katarina Witt, and the 1990 U.S.-USSR Hockey Challenge. Christmas Day, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific time. Starts in motion. And off goes to get the block, and it's across the 40 to the 43. That's another nice run.
I'll tell you, it was a good block by Jim Dombrowski. Vic Dombrowski, used to be the left tackle. He's the left guard now. Watch him. Here, boom, he pulls. He's going to get a kick out there. Wow, they're going to run right in behind that. But watch 72. You see him coming there? Right there, so he goes whack. He gets that block right there. Then you get the lead. Then you get the follow through. That's a pretty good looking play.
Not a bad block by Hayward either at 270.
I know. You get old Dombrowski in there first. Then you bring Ironhead in behind him. You got some power going in there.
Got to do good with Dombrowski on it. Nice defensive move by Walsh to prevent the interception.
It looked like Charles Haley was waiting there for the ball, didn't it? That was just to get the pressure coming straight up the middle, get the ball tapped. I think it's Kugler right there, 67. Yeah, Pete Kugler hits the ball. Now there's Haley. He's ready to catch it, and Walsh knocks it right out of his hand.
He's slowed down a little bit for Steve Walsh now.
Yeah, well, Kugler's been playing in there. Remember they caught I think Michael Carter in there greased up, was greased down, and they put Kugler in for him. Kugler's been playing most of the game.
Jim Burton did not sit it up. He had no tackle on Brady Willis. He's on injured reserve. Walsh steps on, man open. Eric Martin with the catch and a first down at the 49er, 40-yard line. Dave Wanger with the tackle, but that's a gain of 17.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Steve Walsh if he has time like this. Now watch the protection he gets. You got to give him a clean middle. You see the 49ers have a stunt. Boom, they get everything there. Then he can step up and throw the ball like that. But you can't allow penetration in the middle.
Interesting about this Saints offensive line, with the exception of Kevin Havertink, the other starters have played every down of every game in 1990.
Dan Brock, the right tackle, in his 11th year, and Jim Morris says could very well be having his best year.
And Kugler makes the initial contact.
There's Jim Burton, the backup nose tackle. He had a scope on his shoulder. They said they had to go in there and clean up some stuff. He had some stuff in his shoulder. And they thought that since they had it clenched, that now would be a good time to do it, and then he'll be better and back for the playoffs.
You did happen to see the autographed picture from wrestler Ric Flair in his locker room yesterday.
Oh yeah, those guys. A lot of football players are wrestling fans.
Taking your lead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if we could all go to WrestleMania someday, like dying and going to heaven, that'd be great.
You'd have a bus on your floor.
Yeah, coming off the top break.
now scored. It's 10-7.
Ball start, 83 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And that was the first penalty on the Saints. One thing about the Saints, you know, this has kind of been an up and down year. It hasn't been one of their better years, but the Saints under Jim Mora are a well-coached team. You know, I don't think they necessarily have the best players on offense or defense or special teams, but they're very well coached, and you don't get any cheap ones or free ones against the Saints usually.
12-3 in Mora's first year. This will be the first non-winning season under Jim Mora, but they do have a chance to finish at 500, 8-8. Rush is coming. The pass is caught by Craig Edwards. And somehow in traffic, Hayward came out with the ball. Romanowski finally catches up and makes the tackle short of the first down, a gain of 7. Well, we have reached the 2-minute warning at Candlestick on a chilly December day. The New Orleans Saints playing quite well at a 3-point lead.
Light. It is magical, powerful, essential. At GTE, we place that power at the touch of your hand. The power to open any darkness, to illuminate the facts of science, brighten the arenas of sports and business, create the warm glow that means home. At GTE, we give you the power of Sylvania light in 6,000 ways, none of them small. At GTE, the power is on. You've heard all about cold relief. Now you're going to hear about hot relief. New Tylenol Cold and Flu. With more medicine than any other hot liquid flu formula, heat releases the power of this lemony medicine with 3 cold and flu fighters for your coughing, sneezing, and congestion, plus Tylenol pain reliever for your fever, sore throat, aches, and pains. New Tylenol Cold and Flu, part of Tylenol's complete cold relief line. Nobody cares for your cold like Tylenol Cold.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Okay, now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
You can spot someone who saved money with a second-rate antifreeze a mile away. Not all antifreeze is the same. Nothing beats Presto. And that's something you might appreciate down the road.
Saturday on CBS Sports, beginning at 3:30 Eastern with the NFL Today. The playoff-bound Eagles travel to Phoenix to take on the Cardinals. Randall Cunningham leads the way for Philly, the #1 rated passer in the NFC, who also has a shot at breaking the single-season rushing record for quarterbacks. He needs 88 more yards. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports.
The team that's scary, Vern, the Philadelphia Eagles, I think, to everyone in the NFC. I think you can say that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC, but I think the scariest team to everyone in the NFC is the Philadelphia Eagles.
3rd and 7. Walsh out of the shotgun. Hildenberg snaps it back. 4-man rush. Walsh with time. In the middle, dropped by Alvin. Oh, boy, but he wants to have that back. Gerald Alford and Steve Walsh was right on the money.
Okay, and Walsh is upset because he knew it. They had the blitz, so you had the perfect play for it. You want to go deep on it when you get the blitz. You want to go to the post. You got your guy deep. The ball is right there. He throws it right in Alford's hands. Alford is behind everyone else. All he has to do is catch it. Watch as he gets rid of the ball. The blitz is on, so he's going to have man-to-man coverage down there. He knew that he threw it well. I think he's waiting to get up and see if something good happened, and it didn't.
Tommy Barnhart's second punt on Griffin back to return it. Actually, he's just waiting at the 11 to see which direction the corner, and now the 5-yard penalty for the way the game will come. Or the option, resting with the 49ers.
Here in Sunday, still 4th down.
Steve Young and Jerry Rice. Young finding out just about an hour before game time that he would start today. I find it interesting that in practice, he told us yesterday, he takes 30 to 40% of the snaps.
I think that's good because there are some times where the backup quarterback gets 0% of the snaps, like the Washington Redskins. They get none. I think with a guy like Montana, who has played for so long, he doesn't need all the snaps.
There, catch by Don Griffin. Makes the grab at the 13-yard line for the 30-yard punt by Tommy Barnhart. Will not help him in his quest to overtake Sean Landeta. Well, we talked a little bit about the NFC playoff. If the AFC playoffs began today, Cincinnati would be at Pittsburgh, and Kansas City would open at Miami with Buffalo and the Raiders hosting the winners. Cincinnati with a big win today over Houston.
You know, I was talking about Philadelphia. You talk to people around the league, they say they're the scariest team in the NFC. I think if you talk about who's the scariest team in the AFC, and I'm talking about scariest to go all the way to the Super Bowl, I think it's the Los Angeles Raiders. Yeah, they sure do.
Especially with Kelly out for Buffalo, though they won big today. Here's Young. He almost comes back for a huge game. As it is, he's out to the 30-yard line.
He wants no huddle. He wants to line up there. He wants to get another score to take into the house with him. But you remember that great run he had right here on that left side against the Minnesota Vikings. It was the same type of run, but he went for big yardage and won that game with Vikings. Here, you see, he's not only a good runner and a fast runner, but he is a strong runner.
And a player down for the New Orleans Saints. Not exactly sure who it is. We'll double check. In the meantime, time has been called with 1:24 to go, first half.
The bustle of the season can wear a body down.
You need a place, an oasis to bring yourself around.
Break from the pace, take fire from the race. You know the one McDonald's.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's. Take a break where the welcome's warm, the food pops, and the service is fast.
McDonald's, where food's from the fun.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's.
Injured player for the New Orleans Saints is Troy Cook, the cornerback.
It looks like his own man hits him here. Troy Cook is number 41 making the tackle. And then you see his own man, Sam Mills, number 51, come in.
There is Troy Cook, who was a member of the baseball team at Stanford while he was an undergraduate that won the national championship in 1987.
Yeah, we've seen that more and more this year where guys are injured by their own guys hitting them. It's usually a defensive play where a guy's locked up in a tackle or in the process of making a tackle, and another teammate comes in to get in on that same tackle and hit them. That's just what happened with Troy Cook.
First and 10 49ers. Young back. Young out. Second sack. And this is Michael Simmons, the rookie, who made the stop.
Boy, Simmons came in there like he was shot out of a gun. I mean, he's going to start in the middle. You see him starting right there. Then he runs his spin. He comes straight up the middle. And I'll tell you, Steve Young didn't have a chance on that one.
Second down and 18. Sims gets it to Henderson. He is dropped at the 30-yard line.
That's one thing the Saints do is they've always played the 49ers tough. The 49ers beat them in the opening game this year 13-12. But the Saints always get a lot of guys around the ball and tackle well.
New Orleans uses one of its timeouts. They will have one left. Keep in mind the 49ers used two of theirs earlier, so we've got 57 seconds to go.
And there's a guy that has done a heck of a job with this 49er team, George Seifert. There's always the argument, is it tougher to build a team or to keep a team? And, of course, George Seifert was a guy who came in and, had to keep a team up there. And he not only did it, but he won a Super Bowl with them and then came back this year and has the best record in the entire NFL.
Well, you saw that record of 30-3. Look where he stands among other coaches of note after 2 years. Seifert with a 91% winning record. Alice Brown, and you remember Leroy Andrews.
Right, and then, of course, Don McCaffrey. But
Wait a minute, do you remember Leroy?
no, I don't know. That was a bluff. I do remember Don McCaffrey, and of course, I remember George Hallis.
You tried to slide right by that.
Paul Brown, and then I slid to McCaffrey in a bluff. You caught me. No, I never heard of that guy.
Oh, dear. Here's Steve Young. There's somebody out there saying boom.
I heard someone else say take his head off after they said boom. One guy said boom, the other guy said take his head off. They're shooting live bullets, man. That's no fun when you're running out there and you're a quarterback.
First down, 35 seconds to go. In 7, Saints lead. Young. Jerry. Oh, what a pass from Young to Weiss.
The 49ers do have one timeout, and they just took it. That's their last timeout. As you say, this is some kid. Jerry Rice is signaling like I'm going deep, I'm going up. Just throw it to me. He goes up like this, and he just throws it, and Jerry Rice just does a jump ball. He should have went out of bounds, though.
For the season, Rice with 90 catches now.
This year, give him one of the legends of the sea. Old Spice Aftershave Cologne and Gift Pack. Now being shipped in time for the holidays. So give him the clean, classic scent of Old Spice and celebrate goodwill toward men.
Here's just before the play. You can see Jerry Rice. He's giving him the signal. You throw it up over my right shoulder. That's what I think he's trying to do. He's trying to get an outside release and get the ball up over his right shoulder. He made a heck of a catch. And then maybe he could have spun and got out of bounds and saved that timeout. Robert Massey was the guy covering him, and he is still down on that play. What's number 40 is Robert Massey, the cover guy. He turns the wrong way. He should have turned in to Jerry Rice. When he turns out, now he spins and goes down, and it looks like right there he goes to leg whip him, and their legs get caught up.
Massey still down at the 42-yard line. Halftime, the Giants lead Phoenix by 3. Now Massey up, the second-year man. And the big news in that Dallas-Philadelphia game, if you did not hear, is that Cowboy quarterback Troy Aikman separated his shoulder. Cincinnati with a big win. James Brooks led the way there. Cleveland fumbled the first 3 offensive plays of the game, and Bubby Brister turned them into touchdown passes. And Chicago won today. The Rams' dismal season continues, and the same could be said for the New England Patriots.
I wonder if Aikman going down there and all those quarterback injuries last week, I wonder if that had anything to do with Joe Montana not suiting up. Because I know yesterday Joe Montana was going to suit up. He said he was okay. George Seifert said he was going to suit up and play probably half the game. And then they came to the stadium today and said, well, he has a slight groin pull. He's not going to play at all. And sometimes you hear so many bad things happen to quarterbacks to say, the heck with it, I'm not going to take any chances. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers were in for it.
Young is cracked. Chased by Goff. Robert Goff gets there, picking off. And Young is there. And we just have word that Steve Young, I beg your pardon, Young gets up favoring his left elbow now. Joe Montana not suited up, but he is not inactive. So that if needed, he could come back and play. We also received word, John, that Warren Moon has dislocated a thumb, and he is out for the year.
I mean, that's just devastating. I mean, it's not only happening to great quarterbacks, but it's happening at a terrible time of the year, and it's happening to teams that are either in the playoff shot or with definite playoff shot.
Warren Moon having the best season of his life in the NFL. Here's Young. But overthrows it. Incomplete. And 10 seconds remain in the first half of play. So Aikman and Warren Moon join the list of quarterbacks who are down and out. Greg and Terry will have scores and highlights back in our New York studios. And I'm sure they will update us on the injuries to both those quarterbacks as well as the stories for everything else.
Well, you know, it's a real dilemma. You can't play this game scared. And, you know, that's the thing you always have as a coach. They say, well, you know, you shouldn't play this guy, you shouldn't play that guy. Well, you know, that's football. That's what the game is. And at some point, you got to say the heck with it. But at another point, you got to be smart, too. It is. That was what we said earlier. That George Seifert has the dilemma.
Incomplete, intended for Mike Wilson. And that leaves 6 seconds before halftime. The report on Robert Massey is a bruised lower left leg. They will check him on at halftime to see if he can come back.
Yeah, one thing that Steve Young was telling us, he said that George Seifert during the week gets his thing, but he'll say, yeah, we'll do this and we'll do that. He said, then once the game starts, he becomes real ferocious. He just wants to win the game.
Earlier this season, Michael Cofer kicked a 56-yard field goal. This would be from 59 yards if it was good. Will be short. And will be returned. Gene Atkins out of the end zone. That could be returned. You bet. And the beat. And Cofer goes over to make the save. Atkins might get it back. Barry Hilton and Michael Cofer, the top twosome of the 49ers, make the tackle. That's the end of the half. With our score, the New Orleans Saints 7,